On the third day after I became a vegetative patient, Gu Huaizhun came. Seeing him, I inwardly panicked. This guy was the ex-boyfriend I had mercilessly dumped back in the day. Who would have thought that I, an overnight star, would fall down the steps during an awards ceremony and end up in a vegetative state? The film I had starred in as a supporting actress earned $5 billion at the box office, skyrocketing my market value. Endorsement offers flooded in, but before I could even get my hands on the money, I became a vegetable. To make matters worse, my father, who had always been obsessed with turning me into a socialite, turned and left as soon as he learned that my chances of recovery were less than 30%. At least hire me a caregiver. If not a caregiver, you could have left my agent and assistant with me. But no, right in front of me, my father introduced my third sister, who bears a 70% resemblance to me, to the director, claiming that she had always looked up to me since childhood and that we were practically twins. Twins, my foot, we don't even share the same mother. Yet, after they had merrily divided every last shred of my value in my hospital room, they all left cheerfully. I lay alone on the hospital bed, staring at the snow-white ceiling, wondering how much longer I could last like this. On the first day, I spent my time mentally reviewing my short 25 years of life. On the second day, I started reciting ancient poems I had learned. When I couldn't remember the next line of one poem, no matter how hard I tried, I grew so frustrated that I fell asleep. On the third day, Gu Huaizhun arrived. He stood by the bed, and as I looked up at his nostrils, I realized that even his nostrils had grown handsomer over the past 5 years. Did he come to see how miserable the woman who had dumped him had become? Or was he here to bid me a final farewell? I hadn't bathed, brushed my teeth, or washed my face in 3 days. Pale and limp on the hospital bed, I must have been a stark contrast to the radiant girl I had been during our relationship. Tell me, who else could be this pathetic in front of their first love? Gu Huaizhun glanced at me, then turned and left. Sigh. I still couldn't remember the next line of that poem from yesterday. Gu Huaizhun must have remembered it. If only I could speak, I'd at least ask him. After a while, Gu Huaizhun returned, this time carrying a basin in a silver bag. He placed the bag on the small table beside my bed and took the basin to the restroom. Then he returned with a basin of water. Was he planning to drown me? No way. Even though I dumped you back then, I didn't deserve to die, right? Taking advantage of someone in a vulnerable state doesn't suit your identity as a high-minded intellectual and scientist. Hey, Gu! What the hell? A warm, damp, soft towel pressed against my face, moving gently and slowly across it. Huh? Not trying to smother me? Just washing my face? Well, I'm grateful, but I don't get it. After washing my face, he rinsed the towel again, took my hand out from under the covers, and began wiping it, carefully cleaning each finger one by one. I couldn't figure out what he was trying to do. Was this some kind of ritual? After all, even demons wash and prepare tang sanzang before eating him. Finally, after meticulously wiping my fingers, he slowly finished. He opened the silver bag and took out a small jar. Scooping out a dollop from the jar, he spread it on my face. What on earth was Gu Huaizhun doing? Could he just get to the point? When I rejected him back then, it only took 20 minutes. Was he planning to torture me for 40 minutes now? Truly the vengeful Gu Huaizhun, never willing to lose out even a little. After applying the cream, he took out a lipstick and applied it to my lips. Then he produced a makeup palette. Damn it. When did you learn this skill? After testing the colors, he treated my face like a canvas, freely applying makeup as he pleased. When he finished, he took a step back to look, then burst into laughter. I knew it, this bastard was up to no good. Even though I'm a vegetable, you still have to mess with me. Then, he picked up the damn towel and wiped my face again. My tears flowed like a river in my heart. Could someone please tell him that makeup removal requires makeup remover? My face! My priceless face! After toiling for what felt like ages, Gu Huaizhun finally finished. Then he brought over a wheelchair and carefully lifted me into it. To prevent me from slipping or falling, the wheelchair was equipped with straps that held me securely in an upright position. My view shifted from lying flat to sitting upright, and I had to admit, it felt completely different. Sigh. I gave up. Let Gu Huaizhun do whatever he wanted with me. I had no way to resist, and part of me was curious to see what he was up to. Gu Huaizhun wheeled me to the parking lot. His car was a spacious SUV. He opened the door and used a special small ramp to push the wheelchair into the vehicle, where the wheels locked perfectly into the back seat. It dawned on me then both the wheelchair and the car had been specially modified, with everything fitting together seamlessly. I gazed at Gu Huaizhun as he drove. He was wearing a simple light brown shirt today, which complemented his fair skin nicely. It reminded me of the time I hid with him in the small grove near the dormitory and stealthily kissed him, turning the tips of his ears bright red. If I had actually stayed with him back then, what would my life be like now? At the very least, if I fell ill, he'd probably hire me a caregiver, right? The car moved smoothly along the road, much like Gu Huaizhun's steady and upright personality. From the edges of my vision, I could feel the scenery passing by and smell the scent of grass and trees in the air, something I never experienced lying in a sterile hospital room filled with the smell of disinfectant. Soon, the car stopped in a courtyard, and I realized it was one of the small red brick buildings at L University. The century-old L University had allocated a few townhouses in a residential area for professors with exceptional contributions, the highest honor for intellectuals. In just a few short years, Gu Huaizhun had already become a top scientist. Gu Huaizhun parked the car in its spot. An energetic-looking female professor from next door came out and greeted him warmly. "Zhao Gu. Who's this? A relative? Or your girlfriend?" She even walked over to help lift the wheelchair. Gu Huaizhun thanked her and said, "This is my fiancée. She hasn't been feeling well lately, so I've brought her home to rest and recover." The female professor looked at me and said, "She's beautiful. You two are a perfect match." I wanted to ask, don't Hayek professors ever question why a normal person would have a vegetative patient as a fiancé? Aren't you even a little curious? But it seemed this female professor really wasn't. After helping Gu Huaizhun wheel me into the house, she excused herself. Gu Huaizhun's room was quite spacious. He wheeled me to a room on the first floor and began unfastening the straps that held me in place. Although the straps weren't particularly tight, being restrained wasn't exactly comfortable. Now that they were undone, I breathed a sigh of relief. Let's just say, the feeling of freedom is still pretty great. Gu Huaizhun placed a soft pillow behind my back. As I leaned against it, my gaze swept across the room, simply decorated but quite large. Gu Huaizhun disappeared for a moment before returning, wheeling me into the bathroom. Then, he began unbuttoning my clothes. "Gu Huaizhun, you really are a pervert." I have no idea where Gu Huaizhun bought that bath scrubber, but it had some serious strength. My fair, milky skin, carefully maintained with a fortune, was surely covered in red marks by now, but I couldn't protest. After the bath, he wrapped me in a huge towel and dried my hair. His fingers were slender. Back then, I used to love placing my hand in his palm. Now, I could feel his fingers threading through my hair. For a moment, it almost felt like a peaceful, timeless scene. Gu Huaizhun then dressed me. At some point, he had bought new underwear, and with the detached focus of someone conducting an experiment, he calmly helped me put it on. He wasn't very skilled at fastening the bra clasp, fumbling twice before succeeding. I was numb to it all. As long as he wasn't planning to boil me in a pot and eat me, I'd let him do whatever. Once I was fully dressed, he casually tied my hair into a ponytail. It occurred to me that my hair, which usually received weekly specialized treatments, had gone untended for a long time due to the injury and coma. It had probably grown out quite a bit. Without any body lotion or further care, I was wheeled by Gu Huaizhun into the study. The study was right next to the bedroom. Gu Huaizhun secured my wheelchair, turned on the projector, and played the latest news. Then, he opened his laptop and began typing away, the rhythmic clicks filling the room. The news wasn't particularly interesting, and I watched idly. Suddenly, an entertainment news segment popped up, praising a well-known director for commending Shangguan Qian'er's excellent acting skills, noting that many scenes were shot in a single take. This Shangguan Qian'er was my third sister. The camera then shifted to her, smiling brightly as she thanked the director for his comments. She added that she had visited her sister, Shangguan Hue, a few days ago, and that her sister was currently recovering. What a shameless person. Even in my condition, she still couldn't resist stepping on me to grab some spotlight. Yes, I was that unlucky Shangguan Hue. The news continued, but my thoughts drifted back to Gu Huaizhun. He was now fully absorbed in his work. Having spent the entire day dealing with me, he probably needed to catch up on his tasks. Back when we were dating, Gu Huaizhun was equally disciplined. He would read, conduct experiments in the lab, or run simulations without fail every day. He was never the type to let anything interfere with his work. My mind wandered back to our university days. Back then, my father had just made his fortune. As a nouveau riche, he was desperate to break into high society, so he went to great lengths to enroll all his daughters in various talent classes. Because I excelled academically, I was always favored. which also elevated my mother's status among the other wives. Yes, you read that right. My father had several wives, my mother was the second, while the first wife, the original spouse, remained in our hometown. My mother had been captivated by my father's charm in her youth, likely the charm of his spending, and ended up with him, giving birth to me. Thanks to my good grades, I got into the dance department at L University, where I met Gu Huaizhun. Who hadn't heard of Gu Huaizhun? The mascot of L University. He came from a family of scholars. His ancestors were among the founders of the university. A culmination of high intelligence, he had won countless awards in high school and had already published numerous papers as an undergraduate. There was even a physics formula named after him. In his junior year, he won another international award, and I was one of the ceremony hostesses. I slipped a note with my phone number into the gap of his award certificate, and as he walked down the steps, I gave him a sweet smile. That same night, I received a friend request. Even the strongest heroes couldn't escape the charm of a beauty, right? My relationship with Gu Huaizhun wasn't as dramatic as one might expect. He was an extremely disciplined person. Meanwhile, I was naturally lively and loved excitement. Occasionally, when we disagreed, he was always willing to coax me. Until one day, a woman approached me, claiming to be his fiancée. Following the glitch drama script, she arranged to meet me at a cafe near the campus and, without a word, slid a check across the table. Before I could even glance at the amount, she said, 50000. Leave Gu Huaizhun. I laughed. Seems your investigation wasn't thorough enough. My dad's a nouveau rich. I'm not short on money, she snorted. Think carefully. A well-known director is currently casting for a supporting role in his new series. I can recommend you. Isn't becoming a star what all you art students dream of? This is your golden ticket. Gu Huaizhun was worth far more than 500,000. Was I the kind of person to give up a handsome man for money? But as soon as I left the cafe, I received a call from my father. Are you dating someone recently? I'm telling you to break up immediately. Why? I retorted. Then my mother's voice came through. Hoo, listen to your dad. Your father's business is facing trouble. If you don't break up, they'll make things difficult for our family. I didn't want to break up, but my father was stern, and my mother was in tears. Reluctantly, I pretended to agree. The next day, that woman showed up again. This time, she handed me a business card. My name is Zhang Xiao. You must have heard of me. Be obedient, and you'll benefit. I had indeed heard of her. I'd even seen her interviews in financial news. She came from an established family, a diligent and studious young lady who had taken over core operations of the family business right after graduation. So what? Well, it meant she had sabotaged my father's business, causing one of his projects to incur massive losses. My mother told me that my father had been treating her coldly lately. She pleaded with me, don't abandon your own mother for a man, okay? She also revealed she was pregnant with a boy. If she lost a baby, she would never forgive herself. So, I put on an act. I told Gu Huaizhun I was tired of him and right in front of him, tore up a drawing he had made for me. It was my first time acting, and I was stunned by my own convincing performance, but I also saw Gu Huaizhun's eyes redden. After that, I avoided him, and he avoided me. We rarely crossed paths on campus. My father's business flourished. He started his own company and invested in film and television productions. Naturally, I became an artist under my own family's label. It was no surprise my father became wealthy. Every project he invested in was both critically acclaimed and commercially successful. He secured a stable foothold in the industry. Then, director Wu Feng took notice of me and offered me a supporting role in his new film. That role made me an overnight sensation, doubled my market value, and earned me several major awards domestically and internationally. And then, I ended up a vegetable. I told myself that my feelings for Gu Huaizhun were a thing of the distant past. To say I still pinned for him would be a lie. But to claim I felt nothing for him wasn't true either. After all, he was my first love. I was pragmatic, but I was also stubborn and never one to revisit old relationships. Dwelling on past emotions wasn't my style. As I was lost in these thoughts, Gu Huaizhun turned to look at me. Then, he walked over and leaned down. What now? Was he going to kiss me? Well, it wasn't like I could refuse anyway. Gu Huaizhun adjusted my collar and then changed the channel for me. You scared me. This time, it was a documentary about vegetative patients regaining consciousness. It looked incredibly boring, and I had no desire to watch it. Fortunately, I only had to endure it for a short while before Gu Huaizhun finished his work. He wheeled me into the bedroom and placed me on the bed. Then, he went into the bathroom himself. A moment later, He walked out in his pajamas and lay down beside me. Such a big villa. And only one bedroom. What terrible design. L University's architecture program is world-renowned, yet the house they give to professors only has one bedroom. I really wanted to protest. What if Gu Huaizhun is a restless sleeper and accidentally crushes me to death in the middle of the night? I'm a vegetable after all. Gu Huaizhun remained completely oblivious to my silent protests. He even nudged me further in and soon began breathing softly and steadily, falling asleep. My time had originally been stagnant. Day and night didn't matter much to me. But now, I could feel the passage of time because I was yanked out of bed at 7 a.m. Gu Huaizhun is truly inhuman. Even in my condition, he won't let me sleep in. I was carried to the bathroom, washed and cleaned, and then he changed into athletic wear and pushed me out for a morning run. Yes, the morning air is indeed fresh. Yes, morning exercise is good for the body. Yes, the morning is the most important part of the day. But I'm a damn vegetable. Is this level of intensity really necessary? After his morning run, Gu Huaizhun brought me back home and then took a shower himself. My wheelchair was positioned in the bedroom, offering a direct view into the bathroom. I have to admit, Gu Huaizhun has a great figure. I guess I can forgive him for putting me through all this. Breakfast was simple fried egg sandwiches and milk, none of which I could eat. Gu Huaizhun still placed me at the dining table and proceeded to eat and drink heartily right in front of me. At 9:30 a.m., a visitor arrived. He was all smiles and quite handsome. When he saw me, he whistled. A big star really is different. Even as a vegetable, you're still this beautiful. I really wanted to roll my eyes at him. Great comment, please never say it again. I knew who he was, the famous neurologist Liu Zhen. Liu Zhen took out his medical instruments, gave me a thorough checkup, and even pried my eyelids open. I felt a bit nervous. He was a leading authority in neurology. If even he couldn't find a way, then I was truly out of luck. Fortunately, after his examination, he said to Gu Huaizhun, "Her bodily functions are good. I've seen the brain CT scans. The cause is still unclear, but that doesn't mean there's no hope for recovery. Many patients with brain injuries have awakened after receiving excellent care from their families and consistent emotional stimulation." He then patted Gu Huaizhun on the shoulder. "Keep it up." I felt relieved too. I had to work hard to recover. I needed to reclaim my status as a top actress. And all that money I'd earned? I was going to spend it lavishly. After the doctor left, Gu Huaizhun wheeled me back to the study. I thought I'd be stuck watching TV again, but instead, he opened a book and started reading aloud. Gu Huaizhun had a standard baritone voice, no less captivating than those of professional voice actors. But could he please not read academic textbooks? Even if my brain weren't damaged, I wouldn't have understood it when I was fully healthy. Could this really be effective for brain treatment? I grew drowsy listening to him, but Gu Huaizhun became more and more engrossed. Eventually, he tossed the book aside, picked up a pen and paper, and began calculating. Then, he sighed happily. I immediately understood the guy had made a breakthrough. Seriously? Weren't you supposed to be stimulating my brain? Seems like you only stimulated your own. Zhang Zhaoxiao visited on a day when Gu Huaizhun and I were out for our morning exercise. I have to admit, Zhang Zhaoxiao was someone destined for greatness. Even after all these years, she could still greet me with a bright smile. "Miss Shangguan, you're looking well. That lipstick really suits you." She was the only person who had greeted me in days, but all I could offer in return was an expressionless face. What a shame. Gu Huaizhun remained silent. I guess he was unaware of the history between Zhang Zhaoxiao and me. Zhang Zhaoxiao, however, placed a hand on Gu Huaizhun's shoulder and looked down at me condescendingly. "That sister of yours, what's her name?" "Chonner. She's been flooded with gigs lately. In every interview, she makes sure to mention her vegetative sister. Since you can't see or hear anything, I suppose you're not bothered by it, right? Damn it. She really knows how to hit where it hurts right out of the gate with a killer blow. Gu Huaizhun, did you invite her here to torment me? Slap her across the face to prove our bond." But Gu Huaizhun said nothing. He just looked at me. Zhang Zhaoxiao leaned down to inspect me again and said to Gu Huaizhun, "No reaction at all. How boring. Arguing alone is no fun. Why don't we kiss right in front of her? Maybe that'll stimulate her." Finally, Gu Huaizhun pushed her hand away and took a step back. "Phew, Gu Huaizhun, defend your virtue. Stay strong. Hey, Jun, don't forget you invited me here," Zhang Zhaoxiao called out. Gu Huaizhun replied, "Let me get you a drink." As Gu Huaizhun walked away, Zhang Zhaoxiao leaned close to my ear and whispered, "Don't get any ideas. He is just taking pity on you because your father abandoned you and your mother doesn't he care, pa. I'm Gu Huaizhun's acknowledged fiancé. If you don't believe me, go ask the female professor next door. You'd better never wake up. Let's see how long he'll keep taking care of you. Her malicious expression was truly ugly. Well played, Zhang Zhaoxiao. You've successfully angered me. I will stand up and give you a piece of my mind. I tried hard to move my legs. They felt weak, but I think my big toe twitched slightly. Then I tried to curse her. I focused all my energy on my tongue and managed to produce a soft sound. So embarrassing. I really wanted to cry. But Zhang Zhaoxiao grew excited. Ah, Jen, come quick. She actually reacted. I just heard her fart. You're the one who farted. Your whole family farts. Take a sniff. Does it smell bad? Gu Huaizhun hurried over, gently touched my stomach, and rubbed it a couple of times. Then he called my name. Shangguan Hui. Shangguan Hui. Hey, Emph. I won't respond. Otherwise, Zhang Zhaoxiao would become even more smug, thinking she could be my savior? Dream on. The disappointment on Gu Huaizhun's face was unmistakable. Zhang Zhaoxiao looked a bit hurt. She really did make a sound earlier. Gu Huaizhun changed the subject. Let's go get a drink. Thanks for today. After seeing Zhang Zhaoxiao off, Gu Huaizhun wheeled me around the small courtyard a couple of times. Then he said, I'm sorry. Sorry for what? For inviting Zhang Zhaoxiao to torment me? Then you really should be sorry. Do you have any idea how angry I am? So angry I even made a sound. Huh? What truly stimulated me wasn't Zhang Zhaoxiao, it was Gu Huaizhun. His disappointment was too obvious, too direct. Once that kind of despondency sets in, it inevitably fills the entire room, and I couldn't help but feel sad too. I tried hard to move, to make a sound. Making a beauty so sad it's all my fault. Gu Huaizhun had been taking care of me for half a month. Today, he was finally going out. He drove the car while I sat secured in my wheelchair. I had no idea where our destination was today, but I was excited. When the car stopped, I was even happier. It was the auditorium from our university days. Right here was where I gave him a sweet smile and hugged Gu Huaizhun. There was an event in the auditorium today, seemed like a club performance. Gu Huaizhun found seats in the back row and let me quietly watch the show. I never liked such lively occasions before, but now I felt it was wonderful. Every person was so vibrant, as if I could feel the energy radiating from them. Meanwhile, I felt cold. Gu Huaizhun reached out and held my hand. I really wanted to sing a song for Gu Huaizhun. I want to thank you. Because of you, the seasons are warm. Thinking about it, I almost smiled. It's so nice, Gu Huaizhun. I lifted a finger and gently scratched his palm. Gu Huaizhun, can you feel it? My hand, my heart? Gu Huaizhun froze instantly. He gripped my hand tightly and whispered in my ear, do it again. One more time. This was fun. I scratched him again. With his other hand, he fished out his phone. Quick. She moved. Get over here now. No. I'll come to you. I'm on my way. Gu Huaizhun took me to the hospital and handed me over to the nurse's brain CT, various response tests. Then, Liu Zhen studied the scans and said, there's some reaction in the fingers, toes, and throat. These are good signs indicating your stimulation is effective. Gu Huaizhun was delighted. He took the scans and examined them seriously, as if he could actually understand them. By the way, how did you stimulate her? Liu Zhen asked. I want to document this for research. Gu Huaizhun pursed his lips, somewhat reluctant. I had Zhang Zhaoxiao visit her. That day, Zhang Zhaoxiao said she reacted, but I didn't notice anything. Today, I took her to the university auditorium, and suddenly her fingers moved. Liu Zhen scratched his head. Then why not have Zhang Zhaoxiao come again? Right now, we can observe her reaction. Gu Huaizhun stayed silent. What's wrong? Liu Zhen asked. She doesn't like Zhang Zhaoxiao. I don't want to use that kind of emotion to stimulate her. Wow, I didn't realize you were such a romantic. Do you remember how this woman dumped you back then? Wasn't it you who got drunk and cried? Now you're worried about using a love rival to stimulate her? Besides, with her current fame, if she recovers, will she even remember you? Gu Huaizhun said nothing. Damn it. My heart ached. I wanted to curse Liu Zhen. Gu Huaizhun is a good man. I won't allow you to talk about him like that. My cheeks puffed up. A string of bubbles escaped. Embarrassing. Friends, if my toes could move properly right now, I'd dig out an entire palace on the spot. Gu Huaizhun glared at Liu Zhen. See? She can hear and see. We can awaken her with beauty. Why use pain to stimulate her? Gu Huaizhun, You're a poet. No arguments accepted. A series of tests indicated I was gradually recovering. Liu Zhen insisted I stay in the hospital for observation, and Gu Huaizhun agreed. Boo-hoo. I'm in a long-distance relationship with my beauty. Gu Huaizhun, remember to visit me often. The first day in the hospital was boring. Without Gu Huaizhun, I missed him. The second day was still boring. Gu Huaizhun visited briefly but was called away. I missed him. On the third day, my parents showed up. My father was a handsome nouveau riche. Despite his wealth, his good looks made the nurses and doctors unable to guess he was the scoundrel who had abandoned his own daughter. He pinched my hand and laughed heartily. As expected of my daughter, Shangguan Hui recovering so quickly. As if my improvement were all his doing. My mother brought my bratty little brother and placed him beside me. The brat stepped on my stomach and kicked my face. Could someone please make them leave? The kid is playing with my tubes, this is dangerous. Before leaving, my father told Liu Zhen, please arrange the best hospital room and the best caregiver for my daughter. I'll deposit 300,000 upfront for the medical fees. My mother wiped her tears and urged, please take good care of her. After they left, I sighed in relief and blew another long string of bubbles. Then a thought struck me, could I turn into a bubble-blowing fish because of this? Gu Huaizhun visited in the afternoon. He personally washed my face, bathed me, and changed my clothes. Then he chatted with me for a while, talked about his recent work schedule, and encouraged me to recover quickly. I responded with a string of bubbles and 2 scratches. He was happy. And so was I. The entire room was filled with sweet bubbles between us. Just then, Shangguan Chana arrived. Oh ho ho! The D-list celebrity feasting on her sister's misery is here. Her makeup and style now closely resembled my former self. So when she stood before me, I was momentarily dazed. It was like looking at myself. She rushed over and grabbed my hand. Sister, that's great. You've finally woken up. Her agent, following behind, quickly pulled out a phone to take pictures. I could already imagine the headlines she'd post. But Gu Huaizhun reached out and blocked the camera, speaking sternly, this is a private hospital room. No photography allowed. Shangguan Chana, of course, knew Gu Huaizhun too. I bet everyone would love the drama of a devoted ex-boyfriend awakening a sleeping actress with his deep affection. Brother Gu, I really miss my sister, Shangguan Chana said, using my face to plead. Gu Huaizhun ignored her and pressed a bedside call button. The patient needs rest. Please arrange for visitors to be escorted out. Liu Zhen promptly arrived in person and shooed Shangguan Chana away. So satisfying. Gu, I let out a string of laughter. This was the second sound I could make after I'm amazing. What? You think it's funny? No. If I'm not embarrassed, then others should be. Seeing my progress, Liu Zhen prescribed another strong dose of motivation. While Gu Huaizhun was away, he told me, I heard that on the third day you became a vegetable. Your sister moved into your house, used your cosmetics, wore your clothes, and even swiped your credit card. What? No wonder she dressed exactly like me. It was all my stuff. And she swiped my card? I won't stand for this. I let out a sharp cry, and things progressed quickly from there. I could stand up by holding onto the windowsill. I could stand with the help of a crutch. Every time Liu Zhen saw me, he'd hint at credit card swiping, reminding me that time was urgent. If I didn't recover soon, all my money would be gone. So infuriating. So when Gu Huaizhun visited that day, I told him I wanted to freeze my cards and investigate exactly how much she had spent, then make her pay me back. Gu Huaizhun smiled and agreed, telling me that some money was indeed missing, but not much. He had already helped me get it back. Shangguan Chana moved out of my house. All the clothes she wore and cosmetics she used I donated. Then, with Gu Huaizhun's help, I recorded a video telling my fans that I had recovered and would soon make a comeback. The news quickly trended on social media, and my phone was bombarded with calls. Gu Huaizhun found me a new agent to help sort through the various offers and endorsements. I became busier than ever. My mother called me daily, asking me to come home to see my brother, and even specially delivered homemade soup to my place. The long-lost hustle and attention, however, only made me more exhausted. I often thought about that small building and courtyard at University, waking up at 7 a.m. for morning exercise, dozing off while listening to specialized lectures in the evening. I found the painting Gu Huaizhun had given me back then. Although it had been torn, I had painstakingly taped it back together after he left. I brought the painting to University. He had a class today, so I quietly sat in the last row and watched him. Gu Huaizhun at the podium was different from his usual self. Usually gentle, he now exuded a unique authority. Although his voice was pleasant, most students still dozed off. Great. So I wasn't the only one who couldn't understand. Finally, class ended. He walked slowly along the path, holding his books, while I trailed behind, hesitating about how to approach him. After following him for about 10 minutes, he stopped. Shangguan Hui, if you have something to say, just say it. What's the point of following me like this? I walked up to him. How did you know I was following you? Do you know what a podium is for? It's so the person standing on it can see every student clearly. So you knew I was here all along? He looked at me as if I were an idiot. Why haven't you come to see me lately? I asked, feeling wronged. I hope you can figure out whether it is because you were grateful to me or because of something else, he said, turning his head away slightly. I rushed over, jumped onto him, and wrapped my arms around his neck. I may not be as smart as you, but I'm not an idiot. Wouldn't I know if I liked you? He steadied me by holding my waist, replying with feigned arrogance. Who knows what you think? What else could I think? I'm already in your hands. On the third day after I forcefully moved into Gu Huaizhun's place, Zhang Zhaoxiao came knocking, well, not literally banging on the door, but she showed up. This time, I swiftly stepped in front of Gu Huaizhun and said to Zhang Zhaoxiao, I'll give you 1 million, just stay away from Gu Huaizhun. Zhang Zhaoxiao snorted coldly. You're not short on money, but do you think I am? I don't care. Gu Huaizhun is mine now. Stay away from him from now on. I defiantly pulled Gu Huaizhun's head toward me and planted a kiss to make my point. She sneered in disgust. Shangguan Hui, don't forget I'm the one who woke you up. You should be respectful to your savior. Pah! What kind of savior was she? Respectful. My foot. Gu Huaizhun caught my outstretched hand. I've already made things clear with Zhao Xiao. I know everything about what happened back then. Zhang Zhaoxiao snorted again, reluctantly admitting. Yes. Back then, I wanted Gu Huaizhun all to myself and used some underhanded tricks to break you two up. Who knew your relationship was so fragile? I barely even tried. And you dumped him. Bringing that up, it was true. I was the one who initiated the breakup back then. I looked at Gu Huaizhun, wanting to say something, but he shook his head. You don't need to explain. TS. The sickening sweetness of love. Zhang Zhaoxiao theatrically waved a hand in front of her nose. All right. Didn't you invite me here to express your gratitude? Hurry up and thank me. In the end, Gu Huaizhun treated her to a lavish meal, and she left satisfied. I took out that old painting. When I tore it back then, I didn't dare tear it too badly. Later, I specifically sought out experts to restore it. Look, even a torn painting can be repaired. Can a broken mirror also be made whole again? Gu Huaizhun didn't even glance at the painting. Instead, he pulled me into his arms. Silly, a painting isn't that important to me. What has always mattered most is you. Deep down, I already knew. During the awards ceremony, I saw Gu Huaizhun in the crowd. He was always the most dazzling one. My hands trembled slightly as I accepted the award because all I could think about was how to greet him later. Finally, I had achieved some success and gained a bit of fame. I thought I could measure up to Zhang Zhaoxiao, that I might stand a chance. But as I walked down from the stage, I saw Zhang Zhaoxiao pushing through the crowd, smiling as she sat down beside Gu Huaizhun. How could that be? I hadn't even made my move yet. I hurried down the steps, but my 10-centimeter heels caught on something. I stumbled and fell. Gu Huaizhun, the best Gu Huaizhun. You have to wait for me. To prevent Gu Huaizhun from thinking I only liked him because of his meticulous care, I had to pull out all the stops. I donated a batch of laboratory equipment to Gu Huaizhun's research facility. I specially participated in a science outreach program filmed by L University, where Gu Huaizhun served as one of the advisors. During the recording, Gu Huaizhun was responsible for sharing knowledge, while I was in charge of showcasing my beauty and smiles. I genuinely couldn't understand the content, but it fueled my determination. I had to find common ground with Gu Huaizhun. I ordered a stack of physics textbooks. What can I say? I had to know my opponent and walk Gu Huaizhun's path so thoroughly that he'd have nowhere left to go. After forcing myself through several books, nearly in tears, I finally picked up some technical terms. When I confidently spouted them in front of Gu Huaizhun, he maintained a serious expression. Secretly, I was thrilled. Well? I'm also an L University graduate. My IQ isn't lacking. I understand your field too. Surprised? Once I finished my spiel, Gu Huaizhun patted my head. Well said. Next time, don't say it. What do you mean? I studied from proper textbooks. I protested. Gu Huaizhun replied, the books aren't wrong, but that's not the field I research. What field do you research? I think I can learn it. Astrophysics. My apologies, I overstepped. Goodbye. I confronted my father. How do you plan to make up for abandoning your vegetative daughter? Guilty. My father handed over that film and television company to me. I immediately signed Shangwan Chonner to work for me. What a clever little genius I am. As for my mother, after all these years, she finally had a son, and my father treated her exceptionally well. All I needed to do was transfer her monthly allowance, and we could maintain a harmonious mother-daughter relationship all year. Now, I was a wealthy woman in my own right. I offered Gu Huaizhun an extravagantly large bride price and asked him, so, want to marry me? Live happily ever after? Of course. He agreed. Later, we had a daughter. On a summer afternoon, Gu Huaizhun was reading fairy tales to our daughter when she suddenly asked, Daddy, why did you marry mommy back then? Gu Huaizhun said, because when Daddy saw her, it was like seeing the autumn sun warm, proud, but never glaring. If mommy fell into a deep sleep like Snow White, would you kiss her awake too? A kiss can't wake someone from a coma, then what can? Love.